Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Arsenal and welcome to the match build-up stroke opposition preview of tonight's game against Leeds United. Back in the Carabao Cup, round 4. You can also call it the round of 16. One step away from the quarterfinal, 2 steps away from the semi-final, and 3 steps away from the final. And Leeds is not a team I usually, enjoy playing. It's not the easiest of tests, but we'll try and get through them. And I have the perfect Leeds fan with me, Big Lou. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. How are you?
I've been very, very good. So I think we've done like 2 or 3 opposition previews with you since last year. I remember there's a time we said the game was going to end in a 3-3 draw, and it ended 0-0 sometime last year. So hopefully this time we don't see a 0-0. So I'm just going to be asking Lou about Leeds form this season, what he's expecting from the match, his expectations from the Carabao Cup, and also what he thinks of Arsenal so far this season. So make sure to smash the like button and let's get straight into it. So, Lou, Leeds United this season hasn't been the best start to the season so far. What have you made of it in the Premier League?
Yeah, it's been a slow start. Let's be honest, but much like every team in the Premier League, and particularly with Bielsa's demands, we tend to always have injuries anyway. So yeah, it has been a disappointing start for sure, but hopefully things are looking up. This isn't a big game by any stretch really for us tonight. Arsenal are on the up with their form. Leeds got a late penalty at the weekend, so I'd like to think the confidence is at least a little better than it was. So yeah, and obviously with the teams often getting mixed up quite a bit for the League Cup games, I'd expect tonight probably to be maybe a 60-40 in Arsenal's favour, depending on how much you rotate it.
Yeah.
But, for us, for instance, Calvin Phillips is probably going to get 90 minutes, who's sort of just coming back from a little knock. So, there are going to be plenty of our stronger players on display as well.
Yeah. Do you usually prefer a home game or an away game for the Cup competitions?
I mean, home's always an advantage, whatever way you look at it. So, yeah, it would have been nice, but tonight I think Leeds have got such a good following anyway. It will still be decent, and obviously when we were at the Emirates for the FA Cup game before we were even we'd made it back to the Premier League, we made quite a good account of ourselves. So I'm hoping at the very least we can do that tonight and have a few beers and have a proper match day experience.
Yeah, what have you made of your run in the Carabao Cup? Obviously, speaking about home games, you did beat Crew at home, and you also drew with Fulham but won on penalties. Do you think it's been an easy road? For us, it's really been an easy road. Wimbledon at home won 3-0, and also away to West Brom. We literally played their 30. What about your run? Has it been an easy one? Have you had some scares there?
Well, Crew made it difficult for us, and a lot of the goals in that game came fairly late, really. I wouldn't say easy. Fulham surprised me, actually. I know they play some nice football, but that was more under Parker. They're still a good team. They'll still be back in the Premier League next year, without question, along with Bournemouth. So they played some nice stuff, and to be honest, on balance, they were probably the better team on the day. And we got through it with a penalty shootout. There was some. I don't know if you saw the shootout. There was some pretty penalties in that one. And Meslier made the save when it mattered, so it was good. But more than anything, for me, I like to see some of the younger academy prospects playing in this, and I feel like in some ways Wenger was the sort of the start, the man who used to do it. I know he used to get a lot of criticism when he played an entirely different side, but I used to quite like watching the Arsenal young guns playing in the League Cup, and I think over the years, pretty much every team in terms of rotation does that now. I think maybe the League Cup has lost a little bit of credibility in that respect because of the fixture schedule being so massive. But it's still a competition you want to do well in, and clubs like Leeds, we're not going to win the Premier League. It'd be nice to have a cup run. It doesn't happen in the FA Cup because we always get knocked out by League Two opposition. So,
Yeah.
so like you say, a few steps away from a quarter or semi-final. It's
Was it
not
like
out of the question.
was it like Crawley last season or something like that? I think
It
you're not
was.
away.
Yeah,
I mean,
Mark Wright's Crawley, and we lost 3-0. We didn't even have a bad side out, but January tends to be depressing in a lot of ways for a Leeds fan.
Yeah, so let's go to expectations at the start of the season. Were you hoping, last season you did very well? I'm hoping this season you can kick on and get a European position, maybe seventh or something, even the Conference League. Or are you hoping, as long as we stay in the Premier League and try and have a cup run somewhere? Were those your expectations?
Yeah, I mean, my expectations have been fairly reserved this season. I think, although it was exciting, it was great to see us do well last year. I didn't think about so much the impact of fans and how difficult away games can be and how difficult some places are going to be to go to, and it's just an entirely different vibe and atmosphere and everything. So I actually predicted that we'd finish 14th. I'm still probably going to stick to that, to be fair, after our slow start. But we have Junior Firpo to come back, Bamford and Ayling, and a few really key players that make our side. So I would like a cup run. Always would be nice, but the priority should always be the Premier League, and I think it still is.
Okay, so what do you think has gone wrong in the Premier League? Because 9 games, only 1 win so far. Do you think it's the injuries? Because I know you guys have had injuries. There's almost a time you had Ayling and almost Dallas at centre back. You've had a lot of injuries at centre back. Bamford has been injured. Rafinha went off the other day injured. Phillips has been injured. So do you blame it on the injuries, or do you think it's the second
No, not entirely. Actually, I wouldn't want to make that excuse, because all clubs have them all of the time.
Yeah.
And our bench, our squad is thin, so we rely on guys like in this picture now, Joe Gelhardt, to come on, and a lot of our prospects, and we sort of want them to hit the ground running. And playing first team football means almost that you have to do that straight away. I wouldn't want to make the excuse of injuries. It has obviously made it difficult, but we've actually had a lot of players out of form. Other than probably, you'd say, Rafinha. We have a lot of players have been out of form. Rodrigo hasn't quite done it yet. He did score a penalty. Hopefully that's done some good for his confidence. Melier is a good goalkeeper. I think Coops, our captain, has been great. But Harrison, Dan James hasn't quite done it yet. Dallas, Click, all been out of form. So yeah, it's been disappointing. But I think the form has actually been the key, as opposed to injuries, to be honest.
Okay, so what have you made of Arsenal this season, and what would you do if you're the manager? Would you try and get back to the top 6, or would you try and win a cup competition? Which one do you think would be better for us?
Well, I think the world is your oyster, really. I mean, everybody was on the bandwagon to begin with, of mostly because of certain fan channels, I guess, that a lot of people quite enjoy the demise of Arsenal, and you guys started slowly as well. But you made some brilliant signings. Ben White was obviously at Leeds United. He's a fantastic centre back, and he is going to do fantastic things for Arsenal. Emile Smith-Rowe, another Leeds hero, for scoring for Huddersfield, that essentially got us promoted officially. So soft spot for him as well. You've just got players playing well, and it makes a lot of difference. And you're on the up. So I think Arsenal should always be targeting cup competitions. FA Cup and Arsenal just go well together, full stop.
Yeah.
So, I think that's your thing. And I think, obviously, Arsenal fans will be hoping for top 4. I don't know. It's not out of the question, but performances like Palace, for instance, sort of papered over the cracks a little bit, but ever since then you've been impressive. So it's one of them. It's about consistency with Arsenal. I always feel like Arsenal are capable of calamity at any moment. Even if it's off the back of an impressive win that maybe even you weren't expecting. So it's a weird one with Arsenal. I think if you can keep some consistency and get a string of games together where you don't lose, I think a cup run in both the League Cup and the FA Cup should be of priority for sure.
I'm glad you pointed out the new signings. The new signings have been magnificent for us this season. So, but as you say, the likes of Smith and those kind of players, you might not see them tonight. So that takes me to your starting lineup. What would be your starting lineup for Leeds today?
So I would stick with Meslier. I'd play Shackleton at right back. Charlie Cresswell is one of our academy centre backs. I'd play him alongside either Llorente or Coops. I'd play Dallas on the left. In centre midfield, CDM would be Phillips. I would play Harrison and Dan James, Matthias Glick and Joe Gelhardt as well. I'd probably give Rodrigo a rest, but I feel like we might see him feature tonight. It's going to be a mix of academy and first teamers, but the first teamers that will play will be either out of form, looking to play themselves maybe into some form, and no better way to do it really. I mean, it is a League Cup clash. It might not be as big a priority, but if Arsenal rotate as well too much, there's no guarantee a team will play well that hasn't played together, and that's obviously the risk sometimes for managers, I guess, like Arteta, who will probably want a cup run with the Premier League still being a priority, and you won't want players getting injured. So for instance, I expect Lacazette maybe to start for you guys as opposed to Aubameyang, but has he done enough for you yet, Aubameyang?
Aubameyang, I've always been on Aubameyang's good side. I've always thought he's still a good striker. He did not become absolutely useless overnight. So I think this one is done well. Already scored like 7 or 8 goals already. He went off a bit tired the other day. Same with Lacazette, went off with a knock. So I'm not sure either of them will even be in the starting lineup today. But recently, the Carabao Cup have increased the substitutions to 5 from 3. So do you think, I actually heard that it was Burnley and Leeds you guys voted against. 14 of the 16 remaining teams voted for 5 subs, but you guys and Burnley voted for it to remain as 3. So since it's been increased to 5, any youngsters you should be keeping an eye for? Or an eye on? Any youngsters that are coming through for you guys that could count today?
It would be more ones that are starting to keep an eye on, really, that are probably definitely going to get starts. And Charlie Cresswell at centre-back and Joe Gelhardt, who came on for half an hour against Wolves at the weekend, who had a shot tipped over the bar and won a penalty for us. He's very exciting. We bought him for £1 million from Wigan for £1 million, basically because they needed the money. He was probably worth a lot more than that. So Gelhardt above all is really one to look out for, but Cresswell's very mature-looking centre-back in football terms. Who was fantastic against Fulham, looked really assured. So they're the 2 names I'd pick out for Leeds to look out for tonight for sure.
Okay, so what is your match prediction? Obviously, Big Lou will be at the game tonight. So what kind of atmosphere are you expecting, and what kind of result are you expecting? There's a chance of it going to penalties, by the way.
Yeah, good point. I think Arsenal will win tonight. I think it will be 2-1. I'd love to come on and give a positive prediction every time, but I think I'd like to try and be realistic today as much as I can. But I think it's possible we could go 1-0 up. But it isn't always the best idea with a maybe slightly more inexperienced defence. It all depends. I think it's there's going to be plenty of attacking. I think it should be an entertaining game, but regardless of what side Arsenal put out, you should be expecting to win this game, but no guarantees.
I mean, I think you guys will get a couple of goals because we might not start the likes of Ben White. You might see Kolasinac, for example. You might see Holding. So I think you guys will get 2 goals. I think we'll win 3-2, but I think we'll need the bench. We'll need someone from the bench, a Saka or a Smith Rowe, to come and change the game for us. But we'll win 3-2 by the end. But it's going to be an entertaining game. We really need this because we're not in Europe this season. So this is basically our only hope of playing midweek football, basically. So let's hope we can get the win. Let's hope you guys enjoyed the game. Thank you very much for coming on, as always.
No worries, mate. Anytime.
Awesome, man. So I'll leave his link to his Twitter in the description. Make sure to follow him. Make sure to subscribe to their channel. You'll find all the details on his Twitter. Thank you for watching. Let us know your prediction for the game in the comment section, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.